Hi, this is Ms. Zhu, and we're working on homework number 10. We're going to be talking about the coordinate plane. Right here you see a picture of two number lines, one vertical and one horizontal, and this would be called a coordinate plane. Now, the first question on tonight's homework, we're looking at a graph where there is the letter T there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to insert a picture here. And here's my coordinate plane for number 1. Now in number 1, what I have here is a a graph on the side where letter T is all the way down here. And so when I'm looking at number 1 and it's all the way down there, then when I'm graphing, and let me show you how to graph. Points on a coordinate plane. So over here I'm going to show you how. Now let's just say that I have the point 0, 5. 0 is your x coordinate and 5 is your y coordinate. So when I look at my two number lines that are intersecting, my horizontal line is always my x, so I always like to put an x over here, and my vertical line is going to be my y. Now that's going to help me remember that I'm going to first go left or right and then go up and down. So I always start at the origin, which is 0, 0, which is the middle. So I always start here, and then I always go left and right first because of the x. So 0 tells me that I don't, so no left or right. That's what the 0 tells me. So I stay right there. Then the 5 tells me to go up 5 because 5 is positive. So I go up 5 up here. And that is where I would put that dot. 0, 5 right there. So when I look at number 1, T is down here. If I begin right here, all I did was drop down 7. So that means I didn't go left or right. Which tells me that the first number I'm going to write, and I always put a parentheses and then my two numbers. So the first number is 0. And then because I dropped down to -7, then I put -7. And that's number 1. Number 2 was the letter V, which is right over here, V. And how do I get to V? I begin at 0, 0, which is right in the center of my coordinate plane. And I'm going to travel left and right first. Now I happen to go left 4 spaces. And because I go left 4 spaces, I put a -4 for the first coordinate, the x coordinate. And then I'm going to go up 1. So I went left 4, up 1. So up 1 means I have a positive 1. So that's my coordinate for number 2 for the letter V. I'm going to let you try 3 and 4. Number 5, if I am looking for -3, -4, then I am looking for which one would end up at -3, -4. -3, the first number, x, goes left or right. And the second number is your y, which goes up or down. So x's would go left and right, so that would be your x. And then y's go up and down, so your y goes up and down. Change that color here. So then when you find your dot, the -3 tells me you go left 3. And then the -4 tells me you go down 4. So up is positive, down is negative, left is negative, right is positive. So that's why when you go left, you have negative numbers. When you go right, you have positive numbers. When you go up, you have positive. And when you go down, you have negative. Okay, so we always begin at 0, 0. So always start at 0, 0, which is called your origin. And then I'm going to go left 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to end up right there. Left 3, down 4. And that's going to be my letter J, actually, when I look at my answer. So letter J for number 5. Number 6 might seem a little tricky, but again, we're just going to look at each number, 3 and then 0. 3, the first number tells you left or right, and the next number tells you up or down. So when I look at my graph, now the 3 is a positive, so that's going to tell me it's right 3, and then the 0 tells me no up or down. So when I begin at the 0, 0, I always begin at 0, 0, the middle, the origin. I'm just going to go right 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm not going to go up or down, so I'm just going to end there, and I'm going to put my dot there. And in my graph, that's going to be the letter G. So really, when you get to problem number 10, and you begin to graph the letter A, I'm going to graph letter A at -1, 3. When I go to graph that, let me get my graph here. Okay, there's my graph. Now, if I have -1, 3, then that tells me that -1 is going to be left or right, and a negative goes left, good. And then 3 positive would either be up or down. So 3 positive means up. So for this one, I know I'm going to start here. I'm going to go left 1, and up 3. So starting in the middle, I go left 1, up 3, and I'm going to end right here. And I'm going to put a dot. I always put a dot when I graph, and I plot points, and then I put an A next to it, meaning that dot is going to be called A. And that's how I graph. Number 11, if I have B is -4, -1. Remember, the first one goes left or right. The second number goes up or down. So -4 represents left because it's negative, goes left. Left 4, and the -1 means up or down. Down, so then I'm going to go down 1. So this is going to tell me which direction I go. And I always start in the middle, in the origin. I'm going to go left 4, I'm going to move there. Then I'm going to go down 1. So I'm going to end up right here. And that's going to be letter B. And I put a dot there, and I put a B there. That's my coordinate for number 11. Now in each of these as well, you will begin to notice they are also in a specific quadrant. Quadrant 1 is always in the top right corner, which I think of it as raising your right hand. And when you raise your right hand, that's going to go quadrant 1. And then you always travel in a counterclockwise direction. So that's why 2 is in the top left corner, quadrant 3 is in the bottom left corner, and quadrant 4 is in the bottom right corner. So A is in quadrant 2, B point is in quadrant 3. So when you get to 27 through 30, I insert another coordinate plane here. So on number 27, if you have x comma y is your coordinate, they said if x is positive and y is negative, then they want to know which quadrant that'll be in. So if x is a positive number, now x's go left and right. So if it's positive, we're going to be going to the right. Good. So we'd be going this direction. And then y is negative, so we go to the right. That's what that means. Y is negative, then that means we'd be going down. So if we go right and down, we end up where? In this quadrant. So number 27 is quadrant number 4. That would be my answer for number 27. And then the other 3, I think we can figure that out on our own. And we will talk more in depth about it tomorrow, go over any questions, and then we're going to play a game.